I know I started drinking my emotional support coffee without you. Sad day. We're going to need a refill of this before we get our shoes on and get headed to the clinic, because life just keeps lifing and I can't really do anything about it. So I'm all ready to go, besides these, but that's not what this video is about. We're going to talk about this because this is an ugly subject. It sucks. We don't want to deal with it. It is what it is. It is what it is. And that's budgeting, okay? And things that are going to change in my budget, things that are going to change in this family. We have some job updates. We have tons and tons of reasons to go and kind of scramble a little bit. So, I get asked all the time, am I affiliated with this book? Am I affiliated with this? Why don't you leave your affiliate link down below, because I want to buy this. Go on Amazon, Google this in Amazon. Type it in the search. I know, I'm such an 80s, 90s kid. I said Google it. Search for it in the Amazon search bar. It's called a bill payment tracker book. And you can also get it monthly, bi-weekly. You can also find other books that this company makes, which I have purchased a few of them. We just haven't used them yet because, I'm not gonna lie to you, it's a little intimidating to be like, oh, I'm actually gonna start really tracking that now, instead of just shoving it in an envelope and going, I didn't see it. I didn't see it. It's not in there. Don't look at it. Nobody wants to see it. Because sometimes if it's out of sight, it's out of mind, and you forget that you had it. Like my now $500 emergency fund, which seems to have taken a million years to get. I'm like, man, girl, you're really struggling this year in 2025. So that's how I got this book. Amazon, and actually one of my budget besties sent this to me from my wish list, which has been an amazing gift. Now, I've been budgeting in this thing since February. I normally use a happy planner and make my own budget sheets and all the things, but this has been great. This is one place where I can keep all my stuff. Because let's be real, I'm ADHD. I got a little ADHD and a lot of lack of, for better words, organization when it comes to some of my paperwork. You know, I really try my best, but I think it's hard when your life is like scrambled eggs and you don't know what's going to happen next, and you're just playing the lottery from one day to the next because you're on a low income. You know what I'm talking about. If you know, you know. But for lack of better words, I do my best at keeping organized. I know some people are like, dude, you're like anal retentive on everything and you're like super like organized. It's not as organized as I'd like to be. I know that that means that I'm also very OCD. But I put all of my bills at the top, and then anything at the bottom is like throw it at the wind situation. Do I actually have it in my budget to be able to afford anniversary, Christmas, little piggy's 11th birthday, and car maintenance and emergency and all the things after I've paid my 4 walls, 3 hots, my cot, and my internet? And the answer is sometimes I don't know, especially with the restaurant job. I know. People aren't dining out. They're not gonna dine out. They don't care about the coupons that came in the mail because they're no longer eating anywhere but at home. And even eating at home and cooking from scratch can be fairly expensive. All those ingredients really add up. And it's not that I'm a fan of dining out, because our family really can't. We just can't. My husband has celiac disease, and we can't take the chance. Not only that, but one of my kids is fairly picky. So dining out just seemed like a hassle rather than something that could be fun and exciting. Because no one wants to go into a dining experience and be sick afterwards. Cross-contamination is a thing. So anyway, we really try our best to keep on budget. And I know you guys are too, because it's been rough. I think 2025 has been kind of the biggest dumpster fire for my budget in all of time, because it's hard to stick to it. It's hard to stick to a budget. I need a drink of this. I need a drink. It's hard to stick to a budget when you don't know what your budget's going to be. So now that I have worked at the clinic in the scrubs and all, ready to go, I just need to put my shoes on and fill my my craft with my coffee in it, because we don't go anywhere without that. That's Go Juice. My budget's gonna change, and it's gonna change in a manner, because I have never had to deal with this before, truly to the fullest. I will say I do appreciate some things that are going on in life, and a few of those things that I appreciate are that even though my husband may not be working a lot of hours at his current hourly job, boy, your girl can't talk to save her life. He works for a family. He does something very specific. If we told you what it is, you'd be able to know where we live and all the different things. So he doesn't want me to disclose what he does for work, whom the company is, or anything like that. But it is with family as well, so we just have to be really careful with disclosing that. But he does work a little part-time job with them, but some weeks there aren't any hours because business is slow. The other thing that I wanted to talk about is he's fairly frustrated because it's been taking him a long time to even just get noticed when he turns in an application, because most applications are online. They don't want you to call. They don't want you to come in. They don't want any of that. They don't want any of that. I'm the squeaky wheel. If I want something, I will find my way to get something, like the job that I'm currently going to. But I'm no longer working at the restaurant anymore. So that means that projectively I'll get one more paycheck. It's going to be a baby paycheck. That thing's going to be so small, it almost won't make a difference in much of anything. But every single dollar counts, so there is that. But I'm not going to get a bi-weekly paycheck. I'm going to get paid at the beginning of the month, every single month. And that is just how my paycheck is going to roll. That's just how it's going to roll. So we won't be doing budgeting the same way that we were doing it. We'll still do it in this book. And we'll still, at the end of the month, go over our overall budget. But it's not going to be as... it's not going to be as prominent as it was before, because I'm only getting paid once a month. I can't make things appear. Some things that we can do that we were talking about last night is that we make a small amount of money on DoorDash. We still do Spark. At least I still do Spark. And all the other... Man, I'm really losing my voice today. All of the other things that go along with that. So that means if we resell something on Marketplace and we do all the little side hustles that we have been doing, that means that we have some money coming in to float us along down the river. Now, are we going to budget with those little sums of money, make a budgeting video out of it? I have no idea. But I do know we'll have one big budget at the beginning of the month. The other thing that I wanted to mention is that if it was not for my husband going to this part-time family owned business to work, we would not have things like gas money and the ability to go to Grocery Outlet, Winco, or Costco. We would not have some of the funds that go into sinking funds. I do utilize most of my DoorDash money on paying down debt and making sure that we have Save Day Sunday money, making sure that we're putting money into sinking funds as well. Now, something to think about, and this is something that I've been thinking about for a while now that we're starting at like ground zero, I have restarted stuffing Hamlet, our pig. Yep, the one that we unstuffed. He's been getting coins, he's been getting dollars, he's getting anything I can throw at him at this point. But we really need to start working on making sure in 2026 we have a decent emergency fund, and just start working on other little funds along with that. And one of those funds is car maintenance, because we are down to one car. Someone's gonna ask where the money went for the car, the Impala that I sold. Honestly, we didn't really get much for it. I wasn't gonna sell it for $1,000 or $800 or $700 because it had a blown head gasket, and I didn't end up selling it to a young kid who wanted a project car. So all of that money went towards just living and debt payments and life. So that's what's changing. Let me know, do you have an emergency fund? How much is your emergency fund? What do you feel like is a good amount to have as a overall emergency fund? I know $1,000 is not enough. As Dave Ramsey has stated himself, $1,000 is just a baby starter. But I feel like even 10 grand feels like nothing anymore. I don't know what my overall emergency fund goal will be, and maybe it will be a work in progress for the remainder of my life as a low income mom and wife, but who knows, maybe I'll say this is enough. I personally would love to have a minimum of 1,000 no matter what, but I think, I don't know, as a low income person, maybe 5 grand is what I can foresee myself in the far future having. But who knows, maybe I'll up the ante and say, let's do 10, let's do 12, let's do $15,000, and that's the cap, or something to that matter. Now, emergency funds are great, but you should also have other sinking funds that you're working on as well. Things that keep you from touching that emergency fund, because if it isn't a true emergency, you don't need to touch the money. That's just life. You don't need to touch the money. You should always have a car maintenance fund. If you own and drive a car, you should always have some sort of fund for your family in case there's a family emergency. You should always have that oh shit envelope where if something small happens in your week, you have a little bit of money tucked behind your wallet, and you go, oh yeah, I have that extra $20. The other thing that has helped me out as well is knowing that my savings challenges and the money that I'm tucking away to save just to save can be utilized for anything, like the car. Even though I didn't really want to spend all that money on a new van. So as always, you can only do what you can with what you got, because it's all you have to work with. I need to get my shoes on, and I need to finish this coffee so I can make it to the clinic in time. Bye, guys.